But another issue is indispensability. In politics, there is no love. He's also indispensable right now, Nitish Kumar. What makes him indispensable to BJP? Brijesh?
Honestly speaking, one thing is there that very rarely you find a politician who would traverse both sides, of the cliched secularism to communalism and communalism to secularism with such consummate ease. And wherever he goes, there's a saying ki Bharat kisi ki bhi ho, dulha wahi banenge, kind of a thing. You'll never find a parallel in Indian
Bharat
politics.
kisi ki dulha.
But I think, Karthik, here, BJP realizes that, Nitish Kumar, despite everything, he sits over 15 to 20% of the votes. You have one bloc on the other side which commands 35%, the other bloc commands 30%. So he's the fulcrum. Whichever side he goes, you have the numbers. So it's not rocket science. And BJP realized it well before, which is why you see the difference between UP and Bihar outcome in the Lok Sabha elections also, because once you move 15% from this side to the other side.
But if you look at the other side also, but BJP who has taken all kind of political risk, they have taken a risk in making Khattar the non-Jat first time it was done in Haryana. It flew against the conventional wisdom of who has what percentage. But BJP succeeded there. Bihar is the only state where BJP has not taken even 1/10 of the political audacity or the experimental nature which they have exhibited all over.
In the heartland state where BJP has not had a chief minister.
Professor, your thought?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, I just wanted to come back, a couple of things more in terms of substantive political structure of Bihar. What, I have mentioned also, this bureaucratic rationality, Bavarian meritocratic, revival of that kind of a system in my larger writings. But I also recently have pointed out, the argument in my discipline about the secrets of political longevity. Let's think about Nitish also in terms of longevity. So the first element of his longevity is his moral arc. That's very unusual in a place like Bihar, notorious for caste, crime and corruption. But Nitish has somehow in last 20 years has become indispensable also because of the moral arc. And most importantly, compared to bureaucrats being, bureaucrats running Bihar, etc., what we do not, pay attention to the large civic infrastructure, what I call Tocquevillian civic engagement platform, that has given, agency to women. If you just look at, Panchayati Raj system, spend time in any Bihar village, and I'm just, suggesting here, any Bihari amongst us, if he has a living memory or she has a living memory of a stable, durable, what we call in political science, civic infrastructure, engagement infrastructure through Panchayati Raj. And this is where, what he has done intelligently and smartly, implemented his guru. I remember some of my early days spent in Patna, equity within equity of Karpuri Thakurji. So what he has done, this whole package of, reservation for women in Panchayati Raj, reservation, horizontal reservation. Nobody is talking about how Nitish Kumar has done horizontal reservation, which is so radical and it can become, a template for other states to compete.
I think that's a very relevant point which Professor is making, because he's been one chief minister who within even the women reservation at the local bodies, there is a horizontal reservation also. For the EBCs. Now that's a unique experiment which he brought in. So there is a gender reservation, and that within that gender reservation you also have the class or caste reservation. That's something which has consolidated. He's absolutely right.
Yes, Professor.
So where I'm coming, the final point is that what we call in our literature is the associational life, That is why rather than using the term peace, I'm using social peace. If you just look at, growth, I differ, trained in economics as well, but I differ from my more celebrity economists and political scientists who do not pay attention to this coincidence of economic growth in Bihar, unusually high, although from the small base, but also social peace, has happened only because of the large civic engagement infrastructure that Nitish over time consolidated.
Absolutely, absence of social strife is very, very important in creating what you call in sociology a sense of ordinariness, which is prerequisite for fundamentally any peaceful civil society. Manish, you had raised your hand.
Yeah, I would just like to add what the other gentlemen, all of them are talking. So
Sumit here in the studio and Professor Ashwani Kumar.
Yeah, so I was heading intellectual cell, which was a non-political this thing. So Nitish ji told me about a caste which is just 2 lakhs in entire Bihar. So he said, although politically not very important for us, but then you come out with a scheme which will help them out, because their vocation is now going out of fashion. So it's like, it's no more, technology is taking over, so do something for them. That is the kind of, ground level thinking he has, that every last mile when we talk about marginalized section of society, you think about them. I think this is what has ensured. And BJP's association is, it's a long struggle along with BJP, along with Nitish Kumar. It goes during struggle days of Lalu, and that was something very different. And that is why this entire relationship has endured, barring 1 or 2 hiccups. So that relationship is something which BJP respects, and that is why when Brajesh says that the party doesn't take any steps, because his respect and his stature is as good as anyone, a national leader in the country. And one of the reasons you see that, and obviously capability factor.
Okay, Manish, let me ask this to you point blank.